India, because the meeting which has to be held on 6th and 7th July in Washington DC, it got postponed due to some reasons, but the reasons are not coming in publicly. The politicians, they are not addressing the media and they're not addressing the public why this meeting has been cancelled. So I was talking about the youth, those who are working here in United States. They're working from last so many years, and now they're worried about their visa status. Now they're worried about their future. Now they're worried about their job. Now they're worried whether they can settle their family in this country or whether they have to go back. So I have one case study. I have Aman Chauhan. He's a banker and he works for the bank, and he is living in United States of America from last 4 years, and he's also worried. He has to say something to you. Aman, we welcome you on our show, Straight Talk.
Thank you so much, Harkiyat. Thank you so much for welcoming me here.
Aman, I would like to know, as a youth, are you worried living in USA?
Oh, definitely yes. That's a complete yes from my side. Why? Because so whenever you come to United States, right? If you ask any student, whether you ask any worker over here or you ask any other guy who's on a visa, right? So I would say people who are like illegally living over here, right? They are not that worried as compared to someone who's living here legally. So let's say if tomorrow you lose your job, you have to go back.
Makes sense, Aman. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Complete your statement.
Yeah, so as you asked me, right, if I'm worried or not, yeah, definitely I'm worried. Why? Because I'll give you an example. Recently, 2 weeks back, one of my colleagues, so he has been working here from the last, I guess, 6 to 10 years, and he has his wife, he has his child, he has his own home, he has his car and everything. And then recently he was so from the USCIS, right? His case was denied for an H-1B extension because of no reason. And then what he had to do is he had to sell everything, all of his, whatever he earned all these years, and he had to move back. So that step I'm worried about, if it will one day come to me or not.
Aman, if I'm not wrong, I know that you did your higher education in United States and then you got a job here, and then you think that you're going to have a better future here in this country, and now you're thinking to get migrate in Canada. Is this correct?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. Everything.
So why you think you cannot live here and you are migrating, you're going to other country, Canada? What do you think? You think that your visa will not get extended, or there is some other personal reason?
So that's a really good question. I appreciate you asking me that question. So my answer to that would be, so when I came here, right, I wasn't that mature, I would say. So I made a decision to let's go to the country which has the best finance institutions in the world, right? So we have Bank of America, we have JP Morgan Chase, we have all those big banks over here.
You think that United States of America do have that resources, and you can go there, do studies, and you can get the better future, and you can work here as well, right?
Yes, that's correct.
I think the viewers, those who are watching me right now, they think same. We are on same page. Go ahead, Aman.
Yeah. So even if you talk about tech companies, right, you have the big names like Google, you name it, Facebook, you name it, Twitter, everyone's here. So definitely as a professional career, if you say, so all the headquarters of these big companies all over the world, they are located in the United States. Some of them are in New York, maybe Chicago, maybe California, right? So if you want to grow professionally, if you want to be if you want to promote faster, if you want to be, let's say, executive director tomorrow or an MD, then definitely there's a bigger chance of you, if you stay here, getting promoted earlier. But if you are talking about having an easy and a less risk-proof life, right, then I would say a longer-term option is definitely to move to Canada. Why? Because once a student comes here, right, he has 2 years to study. After that, he has to put himself into a lottery, and then which doesn't make sense. The lottery is nothing but your H1B.
नहीं तो
the
शादी
visa
करा
that
लो.
you're talking about,
People
right?
suggest you नहीं तो शादी करा लो. If you're living here, so why anybody? I don't think this will make a sense for a youth. They cannot, they cannot tell people, or they cannot go somewhere in that manner, so they can say people that I'm doing marriage to get my papers. I think life partner is also mandatory for a person, but end of the day, if you are worried about your career, you don't think that paper marriage will help you, or I don't think so that youth living or this generation youth don't think in paper marriage, because they do have their own intellectual level, they have their own criteria, they have studied well, they do have a good education, so they don't think to go on that level to get a paper marriage. I think we are on same page. Do you think that same?
Yes, yes. Yep, absolutely correct. So if you're coming from like an educated background, then definitely, until unless you grow to a like certain level, or you have certain, like you have achieved something in life, right? And then you don't usually achieve that until you are like 28, at least 30, right? So it depends on person to person how he wants, how he takes his life, right? But if you talk about someone who is like professionally serious, someone who wants to achieve something bigger in his career, then all these things, getting like registration, like registered marriage or something with just for getting his paperwork done. So I don't think he's particularly serious about his professional career, and yeah.
I mean, if you're going to talk about, if you go to attorneys, if you go to your, to the advocate, and you talk about that I have to live in the United States of America, but I do have a H1B visa, which will be not, valid in future. So sometimes they give you good suggestions, but sometimes, they create pressure to get asylum. You think asylum is a good decision to live in United States of America and to forget your country, India?
To be honest, I'm not really sure about how the laws like surrounding asylum and all these criteria work. So I've never applied for such a thing. But I've like have friends which have done that in past. I don't think you should be misusing any country's like visa just because like making your own for your own personal interest. Why? Because at the end, if you misuse any country's visa, right? What happens is sooner or later they'll eventually find it out, and it makes like the laws strict for the people who really need it, right? So maybe there's an Indian, let's say there's an incident happened in Afghanistan. People like them, they are Indians, but they are living in some other country which like are prone to more risk. They are in need of these kind of visas.
तो आपका कहने का मतलब है, अमन, हिम्मत करने वाले और काम करने वाले की कभी हार नहीं होती. अगर आप पढ़ चुके हैं, अच्छी पढ़ाई आपने कर ली है, तो आप किसी और में मुल्क में जाकर वहां पर आप सेटल हो सकते हैं. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि अगर आपका वीज़ा यहाँ पर एक्सपायर हो गया, आप इलीगली यहाँ पर रहें, अपनी पढ़ाई को भी ख़त्म कर दें, बिकॉज विदाउट पेपर देर इज़ नो लाइफ, इन USA, देर इज़ नो लाइफ इन USA. सो यू थिंक दैट इफ़ यू हैव अ गुड स्टडी, गुड बैकग्राउंड, गुड money, you have good wealth, so you can migrate to Canada or to some other country.
So the thing here is, if you are on an H1B visa, right?
Correct.
So you are like obligated to work for that profession for the next 10 to 15 years. So
Okay.
for the next 10 to 15 years is the time till when you will be legally getting a PR, like the green card, what they call, right? So that is a really long process. Let's say 10 to 15 years down the line, who knows what happens? Who knows if USCIS like rejects your H1B extension or something like that. So in order to be safe, so let's say if you lose your job tomorrow, what would eventually happen is you would have to go back to India, sell everything, whatever you purchase here. You bought a house, you have to sell it. You bought a car, you have to sell it, and you would have to sell everything and move back to India. So if you see longer term, then I would say Canada or any other country which is like developed, let's say Australia, they are a better option right now. Why? Because they have made laws really like lenient right now for the next, I guess, 3 to 5 years. And once they have that population, I'm pretty sure about it. They'll also
Okay,
start making.
Aman, I have to go for a break. Don't disconnect your phone. We'll be right back. I have two more questions, very important question for youth. So I think you can explain them better. We are going for a short break and we'll be right back after this break. We're gonna talk to Aman on this dialogue about living in United States of America. I'll be right back.